Hey, buddy. Okay, so I am so limited on time. It's not even funny. Supposed to be in a bush plane in a few days, and just got so much to do that I'm definitely going to get a little bit of time to crank out a few videos for the channel before I go, then preset them so they can load up on YouTube through the week maybe. And in the meantime, I got to get hay, I got to organize stuff. We're jumping in a bush plane. We're going to be dropped off in very remote north central British Columbia for the next couple of weeks on without horses backpack. So anyway, I got a new story. Actually, I've got over 150 frickin' stories mailed to me. That Tell My Story at howtohunt.com has apparently gone off. And it's just dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people are looking to share their stories, their experiences through me. So I'll get one out here as I'm feeding. Just got to get some hay in these pig dogs here first. And I'll tell you what happened with this guy. With this one young fella, look out, okay, go over there. This one fella from Chase, British Columbia, logger, First Nations guy, come here. He emailed me about an episode that he had above Spences Bridge, British Columbia. And, buddy, come here. So anyway, this fella emailed me. He's a logger, and he is from, hold on a minute here, see if I can get this up. I smashed the glass on my frickin' phone. I can barely read anything. Okay, he's a 42-year-old native SASQUATCH. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it properly, as SECWEPMEC from Chase, BC. Lives in the heart of the Shuswap. He's been hunting and fishing his whole life. He's been a logger for 22 years, and he's had 2 encounters with these damn things. And once in 2015 near Spences Bridge. And what he was doing was he was running a harvester, which is a big machine. You sit in it, and it actually cuts the trees down and limbs them while you sit there and operate this big thing. It's like somewhat like a backhoe body to it with that sheet metal, heavy iron casing around the back. So his machine had been breaking down previous, and the contractor was trying to get a new alternator for it from fitting and cam loops, and told him not to come in. And then he was about to leave, I guess, to go back home, and then he said, nope, come on back in, your machine's fixed. So he came in, and he was doing the night shift, and his night shift was typically late afternoon until like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I guess, certain times of the day it gets hot out, too hot to log. The daytime is a little safer at nighttime for fires and stuff, and that's what they do. So he's in the middle of a logging block. That means where all the trees are felled. They're on the ground. There's no trees directly near him. So, which we mentioned in the story, no trees or limbs could have fallen onto his machine to make the noise that he heard that kind of semi-woke him from his sleep. Because what happened was he went to work. He's all by himself. He said that previously he'd felt uneasy in this particular place. Again, this is in Spences Bridge, British Columbia. He said that when he was outside of his machine, the odd time he felt very uneasy, like something is watching him, just didn't feel too cool. And his truck, what was he saying? I think his truck was a couple kilometers away from him, his pickup truck, or more. I'm not going to read the story from the email because it just doesn't flow smoothly for me. I mean, I can read, but a lot of people when they type their story to me, it's a little less paragraphs than it should be, and then they'll do the odd spelling mistake that stops me dead, and then I got to go back and read it again, and you got to edit that out, and it takes a lot of extra time. So it's probably a little smoother if I read the story a couple times firsthand, and then relay it to you guys verbally like this, so it's a little bit of a smoother flow and saves time, which I really need to do. So anyway, he's in his machine. It's late at night. He figured about 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's noticing the hydraulics are screwing up, and his machine's losing power. Obviously, he's breaking down. He shuts it down, and then it's like shit. And where he was situated, he's left his flashlight in his pickup truck, which is a few kilometers away, and he said he was not about to go try to walk in the pitch black across all those felled trees. Obviously, that's freaking suicide. You're not going to get killed, but you're probably going to snap a leg or a shin or an ankle for sure. Your wrist falling down and that shit. So he had no choice but to stay in his machine, try to sleep, and wait for the next crew to come in, and then catch a ride with them. So here's where the nightmare starts. And I don't envy this guy, because I've definitely been broken down in my pickup in the middle of frickin' nowhere a couple times in the past, and alone, and nothing you can do about it. It kind of sucks a little bit in a weird way. But anyway, so he's broken down his machine, his hydraulics, electricity's starting to falter, shuts it down. Again, because he wasn't going to hike out with a flashlight across all the felled trees, he went to sleep in the cab of his machine. And I think he said it was around 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, somewhere around there, very late, he felt and heard the unmistakable sound of something stepping up on the side of his machine. So he said it sounded like when you step up on the hood of a car and it dents in, right? With your foot. And he said the sound was similar to his own sound of his full grown man's body stepping up on that cover, but a lot louder and a lot heavier. And he said he instantly... So anyways, this sound and jolt of his machine went down, and he wasn't quite asleep yet, which actually made him freeze up, and, quote, he said his blood ran cold, and he felt absolutely uneasy and was basically crapping himself, and he reached for his on the dash and pulled the lights and lit the place up. And he said this 8-foot tall, black hair covered upright thing jumped off of his machine and went ripping across the fallen tree, the logging block, till it disappeared in the timber. Now, how bad would that suck ass? Like, think about it. You're stuck in your stupid machine in the middle of nowhere. Nothing you can do about it, and all of a sudden here's this thing standing on top of your machine, peering in at you through the glass from probably, what, 4 feet away, 5 feet away. And that would really, really suck. So that was an interesting story. And then I guess he said the next few hours were some of the longest hours of his entire life, because he had to sit there and wait for the next crew to come in. And as well, he's sitting there not certain what's going to happen. Is this thing going to come back out? He wasn't certain if it had just come up to look in the machine, not knowing if he was in it or not. And obviously he had to go through a few hours of extreme anxiety, which any one of us would, because that would absolutely suck. But coincidentally, just over the hill from where he was, straight shot west to the highway that goes from Lillooet to Lytton, a girlfriend of mine who lives in Lillooet grew up near Lytton. She grew up in a house on the Fraser River side of that highway. She took me there just a few weeks ago to show me where her and her girlfriend saw one of these things in the backyard. And what she said was they were sneaking a cigarette outside her bedroom window. So they're both in the bedroom window, hanging out the window somewhat at dusk, and looked across the backyard into the back forest, and said this great big huge massive brown thing was leaning against a tree, standing there basically looking back at them. And once it noticed they were staring at it, they said it sort of started going, swaying back side to side on its feet. And then they went racing in the house to go tell her dad. The thing took off, came back out as gone, obviously. And they went out there, and there was big prints all around the base of that tree. There you go. And then another minor story I recall as well from some friends of mine that live in Merritt. And they were driving from Spences Bridge to Merritt on that connector. And the mom said that they were going around a bend in the highway this way, and it scared the crap out of them because there was a great big huge 8 or 9 foot tall massive shadow. She called it a massive shadow almost at the center line of the highway coming from the inside bend. And she thought she had to swerve to miss this thing, and it really scared the crap out of them. They didn't know what it was, and they didn't stop and kept going. It is what it is. There you go. There's a few more experiences that people have shared, and fairly close to the same place, Spences Bridge, BC. And that doesn't mean that Spences Bridge is a hotbed for Sasquatch sightings, because basically the entire province is, right? Basically all of North America is, except for cities. That's just the way it is. And yeah, it's interesting. So there's another one. As I've been sharing all these accounts of my own and for other people, numerous Sasquatch Bigfoot researchers have been attempting to get a hold of me and want me to call them and stuff. And you know what? I don't have time. I just don't have time. And to be honest, I don't have the interest. I'm not a Sasquatch Bigfoot researcher, and I don't have any incentive to be one. It's not my motive here. My motive here is to just offer up a no bullshit delivery of some authentic experiences from good, honest, hardworking people, and to let other people know it's okay. It's okay to share these stories, because once you've seen one of these things again, it's not a myth. It's not whether or not they exist. They do exist. You know they do, and it's just absolutely stupid to be scared of the population. It's dumb to be scared of other human beings and what they think. It's dumb. And for a lot of people out there that might be doing the Bigfoot researcher thing, if I could ever offer up any of you people a word of advice, I don't know what your motives are or what your motivation is, but to speak on this topic with an animated voice, or to add in spooky music, or to place monster pictures, terrifying monster pictures through your video delivery, or walk around non-stop, video after video after video with a video camera in your hand, pointing it at the forest with nothing of any substance to look at, while speaking with an animated, spooky voice. Anyways, all those things combined, all you're doing is discrediting this topic for people by adding in, I'm going to call it bullshit. This is bullshit. You don't add in spooky music. You don't add in a whole pile of terrifying monster cartoon drawings or whatever you have. You just don't. Why do that? You're discrediting it, And if you're going to insist on mimicking TV shows and walk around with your video camera, videotaping basically nothing endlessly, what are you doing for this topic? Think about it. Teach their own. I guess maybe I'm just sharing what my attitude is like on this topic. I'm not into all that. And I don't have anything really of substance to share with a researcher, because I've shared everything I got to share online here in my past videos. So whatever you take and get from there, you can get from there, I guess. But nope, I'm not the guy out to prove this thing. I'm not the guy. I don't care. I know they're out there. I'm good. I know they're out there. I'm good. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. There's a lot of people out there demanding that I show them pictures, or go out and shoot one, or go out and videotape one. It's like, my only answer to all those numerous people that are demanding proof is to get off your fat, soggy ass and go get proof yourself. There's nothing worse. I shouldn't say there's nothing worse, but I mean, look, think about it. I don't care who you are. You're going to sit in your room, God knows where you are situated on the planet, behind your keyboard and demand proof or evidence, or demand anything. To sit behind a keyboard and demand anything from another human being is absolutely embarrassing. You get off your soggy, fat, lazy ass, you get out of your little vampire cave, and you go out and you take a big bite of life and a big slice of life, and you go eat it. You go find it and you eat it and you figure it out for yourself. Okay? Go out and get what you need for you yourself. Don't sit there behind a keyboard and demand it from other people. All right? There you go. But anyway, got a handful of funny YouTube comments, so possibly in between getting ready to go on this trip, we might be able to pump out another one of those videos, and hopefully, possibly later on, might have time to skim through some more of those 150 plus emails people have sent me and see what kind of, if I can manage to pull off another one of those, to relay some stories from one of those people, I will. Yeah. But anyway, another thing about this guy from Chase, he as well had another encounter on a native reserve he used to live on as a boy, and he said he'd share that later on. And he also added in that now he brings gifts, food gifts or tobacco gifts and prayer to when he goes to work, to basically let these things know that he has a family, he needs to work, he needs to make a living, and to just leave him alone. He just wants to be left alone. And you know what? I can completely relate to his stance and attitude on this. I just want them to leave me alone as well, because obviously it's my life, my passion. What I do is I go into the wilds of North America, into remote places nonstop, and I enjoy it, and that's what I do. and I don't need that ruin for me. And yes, I do carry a high-powered rifle everywhere I go, and if one of these things decided it was going to have some negative attitude with me, it wouldn't end too well for them either. And I have no urge to inflict violence on these things, but and I hope they have no urge to inflict violence on me. That's not what I'm about with these things.